Pentagon's leaked documents have indicated their estimates for the total casualties in this conflict on both sides, and they are staggering. Is Russia running out of steam? I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. It's April 13th, 2023. This is your daily Ukraine update. Let's get into it. Okay, first let's take a look at the control map. As you guys can see, no major changes in the last 24 hours to anywhere in the front lines. Again, probably an indicator of Russia's general slowing of offensive output. We can see here that the Ukrainian military is reporting that they repelled over 45 Russian attacks. Well, again, I hate when they use that over because it's technically true if there were 1,000 attacks. But I think generally they try to seem to round to the nearest 5, and 45 is an exceptionally low number. You can see there is a concentration in Bakhmut as they tried to take this rail line. Of course, in the south, you can see Avdiivka. There's actually minimal action, just one assault by Russians on the southern prong, and of course, a sprinkling of assaults near Marinka. So again, a very low volume of pace for Russia. But as we've talked about in previous videos, this is sort of their MO, is to assault, take a day to refit, reconnoiter their next location, and assault again. So this is part of more of the sustainable pace of operations, not the faster offensive pace that they've been operating under. And I think part of this is that while they are almost certainly still aspiring to take Bakhmut block by block and probably aspire to encircle Avdiivka, their other major focus, as we've heard, is building defense works across the front lines in preparation for the Ukrainian counteroffensive. It's worth talking. Again, I have been a pretty vocal critic of Ukraine's extreme commitment to waiting on their offensive, simply because for this exact reason, it gives Russia time to construct defensive positions, and an hour of preparation for an attack, all other things being equal, is going to be worth less than an hour of preparation on the defense. That's just simply how defense operations work in a conflict like this. But what's also interesting, and we're going to go over to Ground News. Ground News, they're a great source in this conflict for news. They provide us, they help me discern whether or not this story is authentic, and being reported fairly or accurately by providing you this bias distribution. They tag all of the different outlets that are reporting it as left, right, their commitment to factuality. But what's wild is when I saw these numbers, my first thought, 354,000 total casualties, Russian, Ukrainian, military, and civilian. That is a huge number. But what's most interesting is that, again, you can see, we can believe this is actually a fair interpretation because it's covered across the political spectrum by outlets with a commitment to a fairly high level of factuality, including Reuters. What's just unbelievable to me is, again, the scale of this conflict, especially given, again, this is probably on the higher end of estimations, but also that the U.S. predicts this conflict will last well beyond 2023, which if you've been following this channel, you know is almost certainly likely. We're nearly a third of the way through 2023. Still no sign of Ukrainian counteroffensive. Russia is working hard to mobilize troops to get a defensive, build out extensive defensive earthworks. Right, Russia's projects in their defense industrial base, their mobilization, their infrastructure development within these occupied regions indicate that Russia is here for the long term. And this is all part of, to me, there we go. Here's the assessment of the DIA. Right, Russia has suffered, and remember, casualties include WIA and KIA, right? So literally, especially very recoverable wounds could include the same person multiple times, though getting wounded twice is pretty unlikely in a conflict like this, in any conflict, really. Right, Russia taking almost 2/3 of those casualties, around 200,000. And in contrast, Ukraine suffering around 100,000 WIA. Right. And of course, these figures are around tenfold bigger than anything published by either Moscow or Kiev. So this is a fascinating look. Ground News also, guys, I linked to them in the description. They are a sponsor of the video. But they're an easy sponsor to work with because I believe in what they're doing. Anyway, guys, that is all I had. The only other thing, of course, if you want to support what I do, you probably know YouTube routinely given the boot to lots of different creators. Insight from Ukraine and Russia just got suspended for 2 weeks. If you want to support what I do outside of YouTube and you want access to exclusive members-only videos, the kind that YouTube won't let me show you, you want to become a member at combatvetnews.com. We drop all the old Patreon videos plus all the new viral videos. And for free on the homepage, and maybe you're watching this video here, for free on the homepage, we have, of course, we have, of course, news updates and all of my YouTube videos. So you may have noticed I'm also occasionally getting attacked by Russian bots. I had like 400 .ru addresses sign up with the name AA. So you got to love Russia trying to silence anyone who reports just factual stuff about this conflict. Anyway, thanks so much. I'll see you guys in the next one.